Okay, Father Simeon Gallagher. We're here today at St. Francis Borgia, ending a 4-day mission, and we wanted to know if you would give us a brief synopsis of the wonderful mission we just had.
Well, these missions, first of all, from an historical point of view, missions have been conducted in the Church for centuries. There have been various forms of this, but these mission weeks, as such, came into existence basically in the 16th century, and they were started by many religious orders, the Redemptorists, the Passionists, the Vincentians. Actually, their official title is the Congregation of the Mission, and they have always had members involved. I belong to the Capuchin branch of the Franciscan order, and we have always had men doing the ministry that I'm doing, which is what we call an itinerant preaching. And this is an official assignment by my superiors, and I move across the country and beyond, doing these parish missions at certain times in the year, and then in the spring and the summer I do other kinds of presentations for women, for priests, for sisters in their mother houses, etc. And these missions always are centered around a theme. And so the topic, the theme of this week was a question: what does it mean to be an adult Catholic today, at this point in human history? And we have used frameworks from the world of literature to explore what that question might mean, because the answer to the question cannot simply be reduced to saying pray more, go to church more, read the Bible more. All of these are very important elements in the development of a mature faith. But the question, what does it mean to be an adult Catholic, demands of us a deeper penetration into psychological issues, family conditions. Many things come to bear on the way we live this gift of faith. And so on Monday and Tuesday of this week, we dealt with the issue of freedom. Are we free to respond to the grace of growth in faith which God is offering us every day? And we identified 4 levels of possible freedom. Last evening, which was Wednesday evening, we dealt with another frame of reference from the world of literature, and we raised the question again, what does it mean to be an adult Catholic? Because the walk in faith is our response to God, touching us in the questing and the searching and the seeking in which we have been created. It's St. Augustine saying, our hearts are restless until they rest in you, Lord. So last evening we dealt with the question in the context of questing, searching, and seeking by exploring 4 dimensions of our humanity: our hearts, our minds, our conscience, and the gift of our human spirit. Because in the journey of life, God comes and touches us in 1, 2, 3, or all 4 of these, and invites us through our humanity to respond to Him. Why humanity? Because of the incarnation. The Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we cannot circumvent human issues in order to get to God. Otherwise, we run the risk of turning religion into some kind of an addiction that enables us to escape from facing real issues. This morning, as we finished the mission, I spoke to the folks about the love of God, and using John 4, the conversation at the woman at the well in Samaria, we realized that in order for that woman to hear the word, Jesus literally broke every taboo, cultural, political, moral, social, in order to be at that well in Samaria, where no Orthodox Jew would ever have found themselves because of the taboos, and yet there he is. And he accomplished for that woman what Paul tells us in Romans 8, that there is nothing that we could ever do that would stop God from loving us. So the question, what does it mean to be an adult Catholic, was the underlying question, and the challenge is to grow in that gift of faith. And a lot of my material was precipitated by my own reflection and appreciation of the writings of Cardinal Newman, who said many, many times that the only evidence of life is growth. And if that is a principle that has to be applied biologically, psychologically, maritally, spiritually, professionally, it has got to be applied to the gift of faith. If this is truly a life of faith, then like every other dimension of life, faith has got to grow and mature into an adult experience. And I'm so deeply grateful that the bishops have addressed this in a wonderful pastoral letter that they published now, maybe 5 or 6 years ago, on the importance of adult faith formation. Their pastoral letter was called, "Were Not Our Hearts Burning Within Us?" A line taken from Luke 24, where Jesus encounters the 2 disciples on the road to Emmaus, who were filled with confusion and filled with doubt, if not even despair, over what they had witnessed in Jerusalem over the weekend of the crucifixion. And he came and found them in their confusion. And Luke is very clear. He opened the scriptures and taught them how the Messiah had to suffer before he came into his glory. So the bishops, I'm so grateful for these men, because they have done so much in their efforts to strike home the notion of adult faith formation. We have great programs for youngsters, wonderful programs for teenagers, and all kinds of programs for married people, single people, people who are recently divorced and thinking about being remarried. We have the RCIA program, many, many programs, but we need programs like a parish mission for adult faith formation. We cannot deal with the issues, the challenges of an adult person's life and turn to God in the same way that we turned to God when we were kids in grade school. It simply doesn't work. So that has been the thrust of the mission. And all of these reflections have grown out of my own faith journey. I was raised in an Irish Catholic family by Irish immigrant parents.